First, I'm going to give you a how-to and review of the Angelcare Video Sound and Movement Monitor. I'm going to show you how to properly install it and give you a few ideas of what I think of it. I've been using it for about 9 months now, so let's show you how to install it. You can see I have the crib mattress here, and underneath that I have the motion sensor pad, and what I had to do was I had to cut a piece of plywood. I actually got it done right at the hardware store. They'll cut it for you, and put that right over the rack that holds the mattress so that it's a nice flat surface. And you can use pretty thin plywood. It doesn't have to be anything heavy duty. And you just place the sensor pad right on the center and thread the cord through to the back corner of the crib. And as you can see here, it's kind of dark, but I have the recall item to thread the cord through. They actually had a recall on this product because they found children were strangulating themselves, so the hard plastic you thread through so that the baby can't pull the cord up into the crib, and it lays flat on the floor. Next, I ran all the cables. It's plugged in down there. I ran them up to the unit that has the camera on it, and I've just put it on a high shelf, nice and away from where the baby can even reach. And I used a mount. You can see a little tripod mount there, and that allows me to really put it wherever I want. I actually, when she was much younger, I had it clipped right to the side of the crib. I could bend it and mold it however I wanted. And now I have it up on a nice high shelf since she's a little bit older. So to turn the unit on, you just want to bend back this left wing until the green light comes on. And that means the camera and the motion sensor unit is active as well as the sound. To turn it off, just hold the wing back again until the green light goes out. Another handy feature of this camera is that it also has a night light. So it's got a nice soft blue glow, which is handy for you and your baby. And to turn that off, you just push the right wing back again. If you were to have this unit just sitting on a bureau, there's this little knob here. If you turn that, it turns the little kickstand up and down. So if you wanted to set it on a bureau, you could. Like I said, it has a nice screw hole down here for a tripod stand, which I prefer because I can bend it, mold it, and put it wherever I'd like. And then I usually just put more stuffed animals around that to hide all the ugly cords and the tripod. So I'm just going to show you the motion sensor part of the monitor. As you can see, I have my arm in here right now, simulating some motion in the crib. You can see the pendulums moving. If I take my arm out and stop touching the crib, we'll see that pendulum stop moving here. And once it stops moving for 15 seconds, we'll hear an audible tone to let us know it's been 15 seconds with no movement in the crib. Another 5 seconds and the alarm will actually go off. We can pause the alarm by pressing the middle button there. That will pause the unit, and you'll continue to hear an audible sound letting you know that your unit is still paused. That's a good feature if you're just heading in to reposition your baby, if they've squirted over to the edge of the crib, or they have in fact stopped breathing and you need to take care of your baby. We only had 1, maybe 2 false alarms with this when our baby was really little and swaddled. She was swaddled, nice and tight, so it had a hard time sensing that light breathing. So then you go ahead and you unpause it to go back to normal operation. You'll see the pendulum still not moving, but if I place my hand in the crib and just lightly start moving around, you'll see that it starts swinging again. So it doesn't take a whole lot of movement. I did test it out before we used this with our baby, and I was able to place one finger in the crib and get it to start moving again, so it does sense the slightest breathing. As you can see, I have my baby in her crib right now. She's actually just woken up from a nap and is playing in her crib. And you can see the temperature in the room is about 70 degrees. I have it set on here to alert me if it gets too hot or too cold. You can also see by the swinging pendulum that she is moving in the crib. If she were to scoot herself into a little corner and stop moving, it may alert me. She's big enough now that it's probably not going to alert me even if she scoots into a corner because she's pretty big, but when she was a lot smaller, I think we might have had 1 or 2 false alarms where she was just in the corner and it wasn't sensing her movement. But other than that, it senses even the smallest movement. I was able to test it out by even just pushing my finger in the corner of the crib and it sensed a little bit of movement. Here you can see I have the sound on and the little vibrating icon. That means that if she does stop moving, it'll alert me and it will also vibrate. This little symbol here is the signal of the wireless, so if I get too far away from the unit or something starts interfering, you'll see those bars go in and out. Right here is the battery indicator, so that will go down as the battery goes down. I did notice that I needed to buy replacement batteries. I just got some AAA rechargeables at the store and they actually work better than the ones that they came with. You can see here I have the daytime nighttime mode is automatic, so it will automatically sense whether the lights are on or off in the room. Right now the lights are on, so you can see just a little bit of color. If we were to tap it and go to nighttime mode, you'll see the little moon there. It'll turn on the night vision mode. It's kind of hard to see with the lights actually on in there, so I'm just going to put it back to automatic. Right here is the zoom symbol. So if I were to click on that, it's going to zoom in so I can see my baby just a little bit closer and see a little bit more detail as to what she's doing. Right now she's just playing with one of her toys. And she's peeking out the side there. Next we'll check out some settings. So here we can mess with the sound settings. You can turn the sound completely off. Turn the sound back on. Here's the motion pad. That will turn the motion sensor off. So if you think that your baby's big enough and you don't need that motion sensor anymore, you can actually disconnect the pad and turn the motion sensor off so that it will no longer beep. I'm going to turn it back on. You can also have the pendulum make a sound as it moves. It does make a slight beeping sound as it moves the pendulum. So I'm going to turn that off. You can also turn the video portion off so you don't see any video. You can pause the entire unit. When you pause it, it will actually continue to beep like that periodically to let you know that you've paused the unit. It's kind of handy to pause it if the alarm goes off and you need to go in the nursery to replace your baby, or maybe you even just forgot to turn off the unit when you picked her up out of the crib, so you may need to pause it at times. And then you press the pause button just to come back. Next is the temperature sensor. So I have the alarm off right now, but you can turn the alarm on so that it will alert you when it gets to a maximum temperature or a minimum temperature in the room, and you can change these values up or down. You can also change whether it's degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. Here in the United States we use Fahrenheit, so I'm going to leave it on Fahrenheit. And you can also set a timer. I've never actually used this feature, but I suppose it might be handy for feedings. A little timer will go off down there. And next to other settings, we have the sleep mode. So you can have it set so that after 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds, 5, 10, or 15, 20 seconds, the screen will go to sleep. Then you have the sensitivity of the motion pad. So you can have low sensitivity or high sensitivity. We have it set to high because we found that there really wasn't anything in the room that was setting it off. If you have a fan in your room, maybe a ceiling fan that blows on it, you may want to turn the sensitivity down just a little bit so that the fan is not simulating movement in the crib. You can also turn the speaker on or off, and that would be the microphone to speak to your baby off the side, the microphone sensitivity in the room. This is the sound and vibration. So when it alerts you if you want sound and vibration, sound only, or just vibration. And the touch screen sounds on or off. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that timer off. On the side here, we have our volume buttons. So we can turn the volume up or down. We also have the push to talk button. So if you push this, you can talk to your baby in the nursery and she'll hear it over the unit that's in her room. And on this side you have the power button. If you press the power button once while it's on, it puts it to sleep, so that if you have this next to your nightstand, you can turn that video portion off so that it's not so bright in your room. There is no screen brightness that you can use on the screen, so it is handy to put it to sleep at night. Press it once more and the video comes right back. If you hold the button down for a few seconds, the unit will turn off. And you hold it in for a couple more seconds, and the unit comes back on. And those are just about all the features that this monitor has. It does have a nice little charging cradle, and I set this up right on my nightstand so that it will charge at night and I can still easily see my baby. Well, that's the whole review for the Angelcare AC1100 Video, Sound, and Movement Monitor. Thank you for watching. Post any questions if you have any.